Hey everyone, it's Aran and thanks for watching the interview. Today we're going to view the inner part of Carol Alderman, who is the founder of Shiloh Home of Hope, which is the 4-story mansion I said I got to live in. And many of you guys were very curious about it, and some of you guys even wanted to come help. So I thought I would invite her and let her talk. She used to teach at a college and her husband used to be the president of a college. So they were living their American dream, but they quit to live with the single moms and run this ministry called Shiloh. So if you want to hear the whole story, please keep on watching. So hello, thanks for being here.
I am excited to be here.
Yay! So will you introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Carol Alderman. I am Aran's mother-in-law. My son Chris is married to Aran. And I'm also the director of Shiloh Home of Hope for Women in Emporia, Kansas, which is a home for women and children who are in a life crisis situation and need some help getting their lives stabilized.
Oh wow, that just sounded so inspiring. So, okay, let's go more in depth. So what do you guys do, or what do we do in Shiloh?
Well, the girls and their children move into the home, and while they're living with us, we help them to overcome whatever problems they have. So we teach them everything that you need to know for life, like how to parent their kids, how to cook, how to manage their money, relationships, how to make choices. So it's an all-encompassing program.
Oh, wow. So the goal is so that they could be independent at the end of the day, instead of just, being dependent on Shiloh, right?
Right, absolutely.
Yeah. That's awesome. So you said you help them with their problems. So what kind of problems are there usually?
That's a good question. Maybe I should go back to why we started this in the first place, which might make kind of sense. We got the idea to do this by seeing that children were being removed from their families because the family wasn't stable. A lot of times the women themselves grew up in homes that weren't very good, and they just didn't learn the things they needed to know to successfully be adults. Or perhaps they got involved in things like drugs and alcohol or stuff like that, which got them off course. So that puts their children in danger of being removed from them, which is really, really difficult for the kids. It causes a lot of lasting trauma if the children have to be taken away from their families. So we're just trying to fill in the gaps of whatever they might be lacking as to why they are struggling. So we were foster parents for a while. We saw how hard that was on kids to be removed from their families.
What is fostering?
Okay, in the United States, when children are in homes that it's not safe for them, possibly they're being abused, possibly they're not being supervised, they're being left alone or something, or they're being left with people that are not taking good care of them and aren't safe, or their home itself isn't safe, maybe the parents are doing drugs, whatever. Sometimes the state will step in and take the kids away from the parents and put them in a foster home. So people in the United States become foster parents.
So you guys volunteer?
Right.
Or the government chooses?
You volunteer, and you have to go through extensive training, and you are licensed. And so then when a child is put in foster care, they'll call you up and say, are you able to take them? And you can say yes or no.
So instead of legally adopting them, you have them in your home and take care of them as if they're your families.
Absolutely. The state's goal is to reintegrate them with their family, but unless the family's got to make changes, they probably will be adopted by somebody. So that put a little idea in our heads maybe somebody should do something about that. Instead of removing them, how about we work with the parent instead of taking the kids away from the parent.
So you are adopting the kids and their parents.
Kind of,
their moms.
Right, for temporarily, right. Yeah. We're working with the moms so that they can parent their kids well.
Yeah. Oh wow. That's so profound. That's very ideal. So how did you become interested in that, or how did you have that heart?
Great question. Honestly, I didn't have that heart. I don't know if I still have it. Honestly, I don't do this because I have a passion for women and children. I do love them, for sure, but I honestly do this because
you have passion for God.
For God, exactly. Because we love Him, so we do it.
Oh wow, that's so inspiring. How many families have you served?
In our residential part, we have served 41 different families. 41.
Wow. Why did you choose to live with them?
Because a lot of these, probably all of them, need to be removed from the environment that they're in. Their environment is often a big problem for them. A lot of them are living in a poverty situation. They have to figure out how they're going to pay the rent and how they're going to buy their food and all that stuff. They don't have time or energy in all of that, in that situation, to focus on the problems that they have. And plus, then the people that they're surrounded by are often not healthy for them. And so they need to evaluate their relationships. Who are they friends with and who are they spending time with? So we figured out that the way to do that was to just for a little while, for a few months, bubble them off from the rest of the world so that they can completely just focus on themselves and on parenting their kids, and then gradually allow them to go back out into the world and to hopefully be more selective perhaps about who they're hanging out with, the kind of activities that they're participating in, so that they can just kind of really have a whole life transformation from darkness to light. That's what we hope. Wow. There's so many restored relationships, marriages restored.
They forgive.
They forgive. That's a huge piece of it.
Yeah.
Same thing with the girls and their parents. Oh my, so many different things. We've had girls come and continue their education and get their GEDs or go to college. Just lots of all kinds of stuff, you know, and we aren't expecting that the girls are perfect when they leave. Nobody is, and everybody has ups and downs in their lives. Sometimes you see a situation like, oh no, they're not doing very well. But you know, then you look at them a year later and they are doing well because they learned what to do when things got bad, and they did apply it eventually. And so it certainly isn't perfect, and not every story is a glowing success, but I think on the most part, we've had some pretty awesome successes, and almost everybody is probably better off than they were, you know.
You guys also help with the soup kitchen and this place called Men's Mission. Would you briefly introduce those places?
Okay. My husband is the director of the Emporia Rescue Mission, which is a homeless shelter for men in Emporia. And along with that, there is the local soup kitchen that gives out free meals 4 days a week and free boxes of food 5 days a week and free clothes, just whatever gets donated, and tons of stuff. Yeah, that's the other part.
So you guys' lives are crazy. It's not normal.
And you know that. You see it.
Yeah.
What does it look like?
It looks... Okay, so when I first heard that Lee was the president of a college and he quit and he started this home for single moms and homeless men, and I'm like, what? And your guys' lives are crazy. You guys are needed constantly by people and help with all kinds of people, and you guys are loved by poor and sometimes crazy people, you know? Like, I think that is so inspiring. Like, I want to be friends with people that are sick and people that are, you know, going through the toughest time, and like being loved and respected by those people is actually the greatest, I feel like. And she is celebrated so much on Mother's Day by homeless men. How cool is that?
It is very cool. It's very honored to be loved by them, honestly, because they don't trust a lot of people.
Right.
They've had a lot of hurt in their lives, and we walk every day, as you know, and we see people on our walks, and you know, it's such a blessing that these people that the ministries have served are, you know, hi, you know, and
yeah, instead of going on vacations anymore, they take a walk every day, and instead of, you know, eating at fancy restaurants, they eat food that's donated. Which is super awesome. I sometimes tell Chris, like, hey, I want to have a home and I want to have a room for people that are homeless. Or it's like, no. It has to be something more organized.
Yeah,
I've seen it. I'm like, okay. Yeah, but anyways, it's been the most inspiring thing in my life too, to witness. And so how long have you been doing this?
We are in our 10th year.
For the 10 years, a lot, I bet, happened.
Oh, yes, a lot.
So what kind of struggles did you have? Because it was your first time, right?
Oh gosh.
Doing something like this.
Many struggles. Lots of different types of struggles. The first few years were so hard because we weren't following anybody in this.
Right.
We were
this
making
is
it
like,
up.
yeah, this
with
is
God's
a whole
help.
new path.
Yeah, and so it was a big, huge struggle just in the beginning to figure out the balance of how much time should I be with the girls, and just all those sorts of things were a huge struggle. But then other struggles were financially. We are completely supported by donations from individual people, from businesses, churches. At different times, especially early on, we were often very low on money. Right now it's summer and donations drop during the summer, and they definitely did. I was just telling my husband today, he's like, oh, we got a lot less this month than we've been getting up until now. And sure enough, it's summer, people are on vacation or whatever they're doing, so they're not thinking about making donations. So
my parents were thinking like, oh, this sounds insane. So they must get some funding from the government. Like it can't work like that. But why do you choose not to get any funding from the government?
Because they would be making us do things that we don't feel are appropriate or right to do. It would definitely be a conflict of interest. Anybody who gives you money, and especially the government, they're going to have qualifications for that money. And we don't want them telling us how to do what we do. We don't need the government's money.
Wow, that's awesome. So you make zero money.
Yeah, no one at Shiloh gets paid. Everybody works here for free.
Yeah. It's a miracle for it to exist like every single day because nobody's getting paid. You have no money to live on next month, but things happen. Things are provided every month. So luckily we have not died. Was it too extreme? Yeah.
You know, if other people want to do a fundraiser for us, that's great.
And that just reminded me of the event that I had back in my country. At Sungshin University, I created this project called 노예에게 자유를, Free the Unfree.
Oh yeah, I remember.
That I fundraised for many different organizations, and one of them was Shiloh, because Shiloh had someone that was in sex trafficking. Yeah, so people that find out about what you do, they want to raise money for you, and that's
a huge blessing.
Yeah. So how was your life before Shiloh?
Well, I had a pretty normal, good, comparatively easy American dream kind of life.
Yeah.
So we were doing great. We had a nice house.
I bet.
I would never go back. And I hope I never have to go back because this is so much more fulfilling and has so much more purpose, and it feels like you're making a difference in people's lives. I mean, there's no comparison.
That's beautiful. So. Shiloh also has this place called the Pregnancy Center, which is not residential. What is it for?
That was actually in existence before the residential part. It's a lot older. It's a place, but it's also a support system for any young moms or moms-to-be to get some free things for their babies and some love and support. If they need some assistance, like figuring out something about their life, they can come and we try to build relationships with those girls as much as we can. And its main purpose is to help women choose life for their babies instead of abortion. So we have free pregnancy tests and counseling available.
Anybody can come and get help, get diapers, baby clothes. and things like that.
Right.
So I thought it was really awesome because people say, oh, don't abort.
Right.
But, you know, people sometimes think about abortion because they cannot provide things for the baby. And we provide what they need so that they can choose life. I think that was really, really amazing. So if someone wants to do something similar in their own city or in their country, what would you recommend them to do? Like, do you need a degree or do you need some sort of training before this, or what do you think?
Well, honestly, like, it just depends. Every day, wake up and do the things you think you're supposed to do that day. Like, I didn't get a degree involved in what I'm doing. Part of the reason I didn't need to have a degree to do this, and the other people that serve here don't need a degree in it to do it, is that basically we're just teaching them the things that most of us learned while we were growing up in our families. Our parents taught us what we needed to know. And so some people don't have that blessing. And so that's a way we're filling in that gap for these people. But there's lots of gaps to fill. There's a lot of pain and suffering in the world. And so we're just, you know, helping a small group of people really in the scheme of things, because their lives could be so much better if people would just help them, you know. So it's not rocket science. Be looking around and just looking for needs that need to be filled and seeing people that you could help in some way, and that might be what it grows out of.
Thanks for teaching that. I'm so grateful.
Oh, I love my
I'm sure you guys are all jealous, but such a blessing. Yeah, like she said, Shiloh isn't the only place you can serve.
No.
Like, I want to serve there. I want to help. That is great. But you know what? There are places you can go and help more easily in your own country as well.
Right.
And there are so many people out there that need help and that need friends, that need mothers.
Yes.
So you just look around, and where you are at, there are, I'm sure, a ton of people that would appreciate your help and presence and prayers. So you can maybe start there. And if you're really seriously super interested in coming here, maybe, then look at the website. I'll link it below. Take a look. There is a help button if you want to help. So yeah, I hope that was helpful. And yeah, so if you guys are inspired, let us know. If you have any concerns or questions or comments, let us know in the comment section. We will try to reply.
I cannot read Korean.
So if you can write them in English, she might reply.
But she can read Korean, so she can translate them for me.
Yes, for sure. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please like it and subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you guys.
Subscribe. Yeah.
I'll see you in the next one. Bye.